Alright, what is up everybody? It's November 21st, 2010, and tonight was the 24th annual Survivor Series pay-per-view. Alright, before we get started, because I really want to get into this review, don't forget in the link below, or in the bar below, the little description box is the link to my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, and also subscribe to my other channel where I put up a video Monday through Friday for 6 weeks. There you go. Alright, so let's get started. This pay-per-view Survivor Series was headlined by Wade Barrett versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship with special guest referee John Cena. If John Cena let Wade Barrett win, he'd be free from next. If Randy Orton won, he would be fired. Alright, so this is, I would say, one of the most built up and hyped and anticipated main events in WWE for a good while. So how did all that turn out? Well, I'll get to that a little later on. And so how was Survivor Series? I definitely thought it was a little disappointing, and don't get it confused, because I thought it was a good pay-per-view. I would say if you didn't see it, if you didn't get a chance to check it out, I think you should go back and check it out because it was good. But I think there were a couple of things that made it a little disappointing because I had high expectations for this pay-per-view. I know a lot of people actually had high expectations for this pay-per-view, and it let me down a little bit, but I thought it was still a good pay-per-view. Now, we had the first three matches, which was three singles matches filled with young stars who I thought would really bring it, and I was disappointed by a couple of these things. Starting off with Daniel Bryan versus Ted DiBiase for the United States Championship matchup. There was nothing really special about this matchup. Obviously, Daniel Bryan is a very athletic, very skilled, very talented young, well, not young, but you know, wrestler in WWE, and so I would say that I was expecting a little more, but it's really always who you're going against, because Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler have had great matches in the past, just this past month alone, and so I would have to say Ted DiBiase probably was a little different for Daniel Bryan to face, so this match came off a little flat to start the show, but it wasn't a bad match by any means. Daniel Bryan wins the matchup, retains the United States Championship. After the matchup, we have Miz coming out, and he really, this is the second time, I can't remember which pay-per-view it was, but again, in this pay-per-view, we had Miz coming out, cutting a promo after attacking Daniel Bryan, cutting a promo where they had him draw cheap heat, and this is so stupid. Miz is, I would say, a pretty good talker on the mic, and I think he can draw heat just by his presence alone and by his delivery, but I don't like how WWE had him talk about the Miami Heat, because there was really no point to this whole promo by The Miz. It was really disappointing that they had him come out, because it just makes him look like he can't, you know, carry himself as a heel, and that was kind of disappointing. I was disappointed in that. So the second match of the night was John Morrison versus Sheamus. This rivalry kind of just picked up in the last couple of weeks, and the match kind of showed it. Nobody was really, you know, looking forward to it too much. John Morrison picks up the win. I thought the finish was really weak. I don't like how Sheamus got pinned by like a couple of kicks. I don't think that was a good way to end the matchup, but John Morrison picks up the win, upsetting the former World Heavyweight Champion, or former WWE Champion, Sheamus, and but no Triple H, as some people were predicting he would come back. I don't think he's going to come back this pay-per-view or even next pay-per-view, maybe at the Royal Rumble, but if we see another Royal Rumble return to win the Royal Rumble, that would be really disappointing. So, but no Triple H. John Morrison wins, upsets Sheamus. So then we have Dolph Ziggler versus Caval for the Intercontinental Championship matchup. Now, out of the first three matchups, I thought this was the best match of them all. You know, it started off kind of slow, but then we kind of saw Caval come into his own, and Dolph Ziggler obviously having a lot of good, you know, he's very technical, very, you know, he has a mat-based style, and I thought that contrasted well with Caval's high-flying stuff, and we saw a lot of good spots. Caval with the innovative offense, it was really awesome to see some of the stuff that Caval was able to pick up, to pull off against Dolph Ziggler. It was really good, and for a couple of times there I thought possibly Caval could win this, and I actually predicted Caval to win on Twitter, but Dolph Ziggler ends up coming out on top. I think Dolph Ziggler actually even might have broken his nose, or he had a busted nose from one of those kicks. You got to go back and check it out, but Dolph Ziggler wins the matchup. Again, I think it was another weak finish. So then we have Team Rey Mysterio versus Team Alberto Del Rio in the fourth match of the night. I thought this was a very good elimination matchup. This is one of the better elimination matchups that we've seen. We've seen a lot of them in the past couple of months. This was one of the better, best of them, because it was definitely fast-paced. There was very little slowdown time, and I think, you know, the crowd was super into it. The Miami crowd was kind of weak tonight, but they were into this matchup for sure, and it was really good. I thought the idea of having this as the only Survivor Series elimination matchup was kind of good, because I went to Survivor Series last year and it was kind of boring, because, or Survivor Series, as Vince McMahon thinks, is kind of wearing off its usefulness, because you get, you know, sometimes you don't have enough time, and wrestlers end up getting pinned by moves that they normally wouldn't get pinned by, just to get the eliminations out the way. But I thought this match was given a lot of time, enough time, and I thought it was handled well. Order elimination, just in case you wanted to know. MVP was eliminated first. Shocker, well, not a shocker, because you know how WWE doesn't like to have a hometown hero in matches. So MVP was eliminated first, then Chris Masters, followed by Cody Rhodes. Alberto Del Rio was actually taken out. He was never actually eliminated, but Team Rey Mysterio still won. Tyler Rex was eliminated, then Kofi Kingston, Jack Swagger, and Drew McIntyre, leaving Big Show and Rey Mysterio, again, just like on SmackDown, the only two standing for Team Rey Mysterio. Again, I thought it was a really good matchup. Then we have the Divas matchup. It's Lay Cool versus Natalya in a 2-on-1 handicap match for the Divas Championship. Lay Cool ends up losing, actually, and I predicted them to win, but Lay Cool lost. Natalya, she cried at the end. Yeah, it was stupid. And at the end, Lay Cool actually started beating down Natalya. Out comes Beth Phoenix, which I called on Twitter. You can go back and check the evidence. But Beth Phoenix actually came out and helped Natalya beat up Lay Cool, and so that's how that match ended. Surprised to see Beth Phoenix back, even though I called it, but we'll see where this goes. We have the World Heavyweight matchup, Kane versus Edge. I wasn't really looking forward to this matchup, to be honest. It did a little better than it started off slow, and it kind of picked up a little bit towards the end, but honestly, this matchup was slow and plodding. Kane's offense, this is why Kane really doesn't deserve to be in the main event. I mean, I know he deserves it, okay, but his offense just doesn't equal exciting or heavyweight champion. Edge is a little better. I think Edge is definitely, he can actually pick up a crowd, but Kane is just a little too much past his prime, and he's a little too big for him to have any interesting offense. The ending was BS because it was a draw, meaning that Kane won. After the spear, Edge had his hand over Kane, Kane had his hand over Edge, and the referee counted. Kane won by default because it was a draw, and I think that was BS. After the match, Edge beat up Kane, putting him in the wheelchair and throwing him through the little barricade thing. It wasn't that good of an ending, and it wasn't that good of a matchup. Kind of disappointed by it. Well, no, I'm not disappointed by it because I wasn't really expecting much from it, but whatever. Alright, so then we have the tag team matchup, Nexus versus Santino and Vladimir. Gotta be honest, I didn't watch it, so sorry. But I do know Nexus did win, and after the matchup, Michael Cole, from orders from the GM, told Nexus to leave because they're not allowed to interfere. Which brings us to our main event: Wade Barrett versus Randy Orton. With John Cena as referee, free or fired? Would John Cena be free, or would he free from Nexus, or would he be fired? Now, I don't think a lot of people were going into this match expecting it to be a good wrestling matchup. They were more looking for the outcome of the matchup to see what would happen. When Miz cashed in, would John Cena turn heel? Would he be free or fired? They were looking at all the possibilities and saying this was a good matchup. It had pretty good build, especially from Roddy Piper this past Monday on Raw. And so, as I said, the wrestling wasn't that good. It was a typical Wade Barrett versus Randy Orton match that we've seen before. Nothing to write home about. And so, as the match got closer to the end, we were all waiting on bated breath to see what happened, and it just, I guess, out of all the possible outcomes that they could have done, this was kind of the most disappointing, because we know for a fact that John Cena is not fired from the WWE, so they're just going to work him back into the storyline, obviously, eventually, if not right away. And so it was kind of disappointing to know that, but they did a interesting little send-off with John Cena going around touching everybody in the crowd. And so I was just kind of disappointed by where this match led, because we know that John Cena is going to come back. But for what it's worth, Randy Orton wins, so John Cena's fired. So I don't know. What do you guys think will happen? How will John Cena be brought back? Is he actually fired? I don't think anybody believes he's actually fired. But how will he be brought back into WWE, if at all? So yeah, guys, if you got a chance to see it, tell me what you thought about Survivor Series in the comment section below. I'm really interested to hear what you thought about, especially the John Cena, whole John Cena situation. Tell me down there below. Tell me what you thought about the matches. Which one was your favorite? Which one did you hate? Tell me all that stuff down there below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget the thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't done so. I forgot to say that at the beginning. Subscribe if you haven't done so, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.